Welcome back. Although not everyone loves these colder temperatures, it has some anglers smiling because that means the ice is getting a little thicker on area lakes. Ice fishing, we know it's a big deal around here. And we thought we would get the latest on what to expect from North Dakota game and fish biologist Doug Lear. Doug, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, good morning. It's good to be with you. I feel like I can appreciate the snow and the cold a little bit more because most people, the ones that are trying to head to Frisco, some people are getting frustrated with the snow and the cold, but there's a lot of people that have been waiting for the cold temperatures. Maybe not as much snow, but there's
maybe
some
not so much the wind, but the cold for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so you bring in a couple of different factors. I mean, you have people that want to go ice fishing. There's predator hunting, coyote hunting, fox hunting, whether it's snowmobiling, downhill skiing, cross-country skiing. So there's some ways to embrace and to enjoy the outdoors, even in the snow and in the cold. But as you kind of alluded to, moderation in temperatures, moderation in snow might definitely help people out that are heading outdoors to enjoy the wintertime in the upper Midwest.
And so we all know cold makes ice. That's pretty obvious. But snow has an effect on lakes as well. So what does that do as far as the ice?
You bring up a really good point because when we have snow and quite a bit of snow, there's some problems that the snow creates. Number one, it creates some access issues trying to get on the lake. If you get stuck in your driveway, or if you get stuck heading out to the lake, either way you're stuck. So you might be able to make it to the lake, but if you can't make it on the lake, you've got some challenges and some struggles. So that's one thing that the snow does. The snow also insulates the ice. While we've had some extremely cold temperatures, once you get a blanket of snow over the top, it slows the formation of the ice because of the insulation factor of ice. It covers up thin ice. If you've got some areas that maybe there's been a spring or maybe there's some thin ice, that snow is going to cover it up, makes it harder for people to see it. So there's some drawbacks from the snow. We're also seeing some situations when you put snow on top of the ice, you get some slush in between the ice and the snow. Again, a lot of winter anglers are used to that, they're familiar with it, but nonetheless, it does create some different dynamics when people are heading out ice fishing, Jordan.
Well, and then you brought up a good point. You know, the anglers that do it all the time, they have a pretty good understanding, but how many times don't you maybe bring out a buddy or someone ice fishing with you who maybe isn't so used to being out on the ice and who this could be new for, and to maybe look out for the big snow pile and think, I maybe don't want to go there, but your friend might not if they don't go out all the time.
You bring up a key point. Is when we head out onto the ice, you want to make sure you've got somebody that's been out there before. We encourage people to take up winter pastimes. Maybe they've never tried before, but it's always good to have a friend, somebody that's familiar with that lake, familiar with the way ice conditions can vary, because you're spot on. You can have conditions that change, and if you're not experienced, you might not know. I mean, we've got some great opportunities. We're seeing over the last couple years more and more people being drawn into ice fishing. You can get those wheelhouses out there. You can sit out there and ice fish in shorts. I mean, you can watch the Bison game. Yeah, you can watch the Bison game while you're out ice fishing. I mean, it's really changed. So that helps draw people into it. The technology, the equipment, not to mention staying warm. When you can have battery-operated socks that are warming your feet.
Yeah.
You can really help draw in people. But at the same point, if you haven't experienced ice fishing, you want to make sure when it comes to safety, you've got some people that know the ice, that know the situations that can help you out.
Good advice there. And so how is it going this year so far? I mean, I know that for certain lakes they haven't been able to get out, just as you mentioned, but for the folks that are out, have you heard how fishing's been?
I would say okay. If I was going to put a word out there, I would say okay or good. I mean, it's been kind of strange because, leading up to Thanksgiving until we really started creating ice and really winter arrived, we didn't have that good of ice conditions. So we had maybe a small window where we had some okay ice conditions and some good opportunities to get out there ice fishing. And I guess the good news for ice fishermen, there's going to be plenty of time to go ice fishing. The bad news for people that want to get rid of the snow and the ice, it might be a while. So it's been a good start to ice fishing. The folks that are getting out there, they're catching some fish, and that's almost kind of the cherry on top. You want to, if you sit indoors and just wait for winter to go away, you might get a little bit depressed. So get out there and try to find a way to enjoy. I mean, this is where we live, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and snow and ice is something that we deal with. So whether it's snowmobiling, ice fishing, get outdoors and try to enjoy a little bit of it.
And it's a way of life around here. I mean, people have been doing it around here for centuries, and
we've got a lot better than,
Yeah.
than some of the other people. We're not drilling. They've got lithium-ion ice augers. You're not
Yep.
drilling the hole
Yep.
by hand. So there's been some great technology advances that have helped people enjoy it even more.
all right. Well, Doug, thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
Coming up here on today's show, it looks and feels like a giant playground, but the Ninja Gym can be a great way for adults to have fun and stay active as well. We'll explain up next.